Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Forecast. And today I'm going to be reviewing the Liverpool-Manchester City game, and I think it's fair to say it was a dominant win for Manchester City over Liverpool. As a Liverpool fan, I actually had quite a bit of hope going into this game, and this was based off our last two performances against Villa and Real Madrid, where we saw a similar style of football was going to be employed, where they're going to try play out from the back, use passing a bit more, and try break for our lines, which suited our press a lot more. And I thought we'd be able to match Manchester City today, but we just couldn't. It was that simple. They were way too good for us today. We got nowhere near them, and they were just on an absolute different level to what Real Madrid were, to what Aston Villa were. They were absolutely brilliant. And right now, I'd have to say Manchester City are a massive threat for the Premier League title. I really think they can challenge Arsenal now after seeing that performance. It was absolutely brilliant. And it wasn't just Erling Haaland. Jeremy Doku was absolutely brilliant today. He absolutely tore Bradley apart at points. I do think that was partly due to how good Doku was, but Bradley, he could have been better after considering how good he was against Vinicius Jr., but he was so good today. Jeremy Doku. Where did Liverpool win this game? They first of all started so poorly in this game. The first 10 minutes were shocking. We looked very uncomposed on the ball. We couldn't connect any passes. City started to dominate. And look, you can sometimes get through those periods, which we almost did. And Manchester City had a penalty early on. I don't think it's a penalty. It's definitely, in my opinion, there's some contact on Jeremy Doku by Mamadashvili, but he's just flopped to the floor, in my opinion. I don't think that is a penalty. Kanate was terrible in that situation, hitting it against Bradley, and that allowed the ball to fall to Doku, and it was some good blocks, actually, from Kanate to recover. But Kanate is what causes that initial penalty, and it was a brilliant save from Mamadashvili against Haaland to actually sort of keep us in the game, and we needed a response after that happening, and we just didn't get that response at all. And finally, Manchester City broke the deadlock through Erling Haaland. This is poor defending from Ibu Kanate. It's a great delivery from Nunes into Haaland, but he has to do better in that situation. And it actually just comes off the back of Kanate's head. He doesn't realise Haaland's right behind him, I don't think. And it just deflects off Haaland's head and into the back of the net. And Mamadashvili, absolutely no chance, and he couldn't save it at that time. And that goal was coming. City had already applied a lot of pressure. Foden and Doku were superb in the first of 30 minutes, especially Foden. He went a bit quiet, I think, after that, but in the first 30 minutes, Foden was absolutely brilliant. And look, Liverpool started to, sort of get into the game. We won a corner, and it looked like Virgil van Dijk put Liverpool level. A great ball by Mo Salah. Clearly something they've been working on, that delivery from Salah. Something we don't always see Mo Salah in corners, and it was disallowed because Robertson was judged to have stopped Donnarumma. There is absolutely no way this should have been disallowed as a goal. I'm not hearing it at all. He's not impeding him anyway, and if you look at the other angle, you'll see this. Donnarumma has clearly got enough of a view, enough of a sight to stop this going in. He's not blocking the view. He's not interfering with Donnarumma himself. He's not putting any pressure on him. And I just can't believe that's honestly been disallowed. And look, that would have changed the game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Liverpool would have started to get a bit more belief, get themselves back into the game. But realistically, it's still not good enough, this performance. The passing wasn't good enough. We saw this where the passing wasn't crisp enough. We needed to be better on the ball. We needed to start creating more chances, and we just couldn't do this today. And finally, City did go 2-0 up at half time. This is poor defending once again. Someone's going to get out to Nico González. It's that simple. And it just sort of deflects off Virgil van Dijk's foot. I don't know if I blame Van Dijk here. I know he could have probably done better, but it's not absolutely his fault. Someone needs to get out and make the block. It's that simple. Why is no one rushing out to block the shot? And this allows Manchester City to go into the break 2-0 up, and this does completely change the game. At 1-0, you always think, oh, Liverpool have a chance in this game. We do have the ability to score a goal later on at some point, and at least maybe take a point from this game. But at 2-0 down, it was always going to be an uphill battle going into half-time. And I actually expected some changes from Slot. He didn't make any changes at half-time, and I think maybe this is a criticism of Slot today, not making enough changes. I thought his starting lineup he put out, though, was very good, actually. I didn't have any complaints about the starting 11. That we basically put out what we did against Real Madrid. That worked well. I think most people were happy with it, but I did think the changes were a bit strange, and it just sort of started off how it was, actually. The first 10 minutes, I think we started better. But City were letting us create more chances. I don't think there's any doubt about this. They dropped off a bit. They were more in a defensive shape. They were happy to play on the break. And then we brought Cody Gakpo on. And then finally, Manchester City gave the goal to basically confirm the win. That's when everyone knew it was absolutely over. Through Jeremy Doku, an unbelievable finish. It really was. A brilliant piece of skill to get into that position initially. And he'd been doing that all game. And look, Jeremy Doku, everyone complains about his end product. That is the problem with Jeremy Doku. His overall play to get into positions is absolutely brilliant. If he adds end product, he will easily be one of the best wingers in the league, as we saw today. That was a brilliant performance from Jeremy Doku. He deserves so much credit for this reason why Manchester City won. He was a massive outlet. He gave City a way forward in this game. So what could have Liverpool done better to at least not lose in this fashion? And some people will go, I think, oh, Liverpool looked better in the last sort of 20-30 minutes. I don't think that's more because Manchester City dropped off. They were happy to let us have attacks. They knew the game was over. Well, they weren't playing at the same intensity. They weren't as crisp with their passing. And that's why we started having chances. And we should have actually got at least one goal in those final 20 minutes. There's no doubt about that. We had lots of chances. Mo Salah had a big one. Gakpo had an absolutely massive one actually after coming on. Some good work from Conor Bradley. That would have got us at least back into this game. But poor finishing let us down in the second half. I think a lot of people now will be saying, oh, Arne Slot out again. I mean, I think it's just ridiculous because I think he set them up actually in a good way. I think he set them up in a way to win the game. He expect the same lineup against Real Madrid. I don't think many people would have changed that starting 11. The one thing I would criticise him about today, though, is those substitutions. I think the bringing off Ekitike was a bit weird for Gakpo. I think at that point we needed someone up front, and I think that did cost us. I guess he was just trying to get some pressing, some width with Cody Gakpo. We then saw him bring on Jones in the 74th minute. Too late. You should have brought him 10 minutes earlier. I think that was pretty clear. As well as bringing on Chiesa 10 minutes earlier. If you don't want to play Isak, if he's not match fit, bring on Federico Chiesa. And the Joe Gomez substitution at the end, I'm fine with that one. I know a lot of people will be critical of it. This is when we just need to keep Conor Bradley fit. He's our only fit right back right now. That was clearly the move with that change. Now, into looking sort of at some individual player performances, I'll be honest with this player rating. It's more a team problem than just individual. Mamadashvili in goal. I'm giving Mamadashvili an 8. I thought he was good. I don't know what you want him to do on either of the goals, and he saved the penalty. He was probably our best player today, or one of the best. Conor Bradley, I thought Bradley was one of the better outfield players today that we had on the pitch. I'm going to give him a 6. Kanate was poor. I'm giving Kanate a 4. I just thought we were just starting to see some good signs of Ibu Kanate, and he was absolutely crap today. Then on to Virgil van Dijk. I'm going to give Virgil van Dijk a 6. I thought he was fine today. I think he could have maybe done something slightly different with a block shot, but he made a lot of other blocks, and I thought he was the only real decent centre-half. Kanate was poor, as I just said. Robertson, I'm going to give Robertson a 5. I thought he was just alright. Gravenberch, one of the worst performances I've seen Ryan Gravenberch have under Arne Slot. I'm giving him a 4. McAllister went quiet. I don't think it was as bad as Ryan Gravenberch. I'm going to give him a 5. Sobersley, we had to get him more on the ball. I don't know what was going on with that. Sobersley didn't get anywhere enough touches in that first half. Wirtz, I'm going to give him a 5. I don't think he was the worst player on the pitch today. I thought he had some threat at points. And on to Mo Salah, I'm also going to give him a 5. Similar-ish performance. Then Hugo Ekitike, I'm going to give him a 4. Just nothing today. He couldn't link it up at all. I know he had lack of service, but I thought his overall touches were poor today. Cody Gakpo, I'm also going to give him a 4 off the bench. He had the big chance to make it 2-1. And that was probably the only chance we had of getting back into the game, and he missed it. So that is why Cody Gakpo gets a 4. Opposite discussion now for Manchester City with their player ratings, and this is more about how good they were as a team. Their passing was immense. Their pressing was very good. They had a brilliant team performance, and all of them were actually very good today. Donnarumma, I'm going to give Donnarumma a 7. He made a good save against that Sobersley shot. Mateus Nunes, I'm going to give a 7. A great cross for the goal. Ruben Diaz, I'm going to give Ruben Diaz a 7 as well as Gvardiol. Nico Riley, I'm going to give Nico Riley a 7 as well. The back four were good today. They didn't have a lot to deal with, but in general they were very good. Bernardo Silva, I'm going to give Bernardo Silva an 8. I thought he was excellent today. Nico González, I'm going to give Nico González 8 as well. He scored and he was overall good. Jeremy Doku, I'm going to give Jeremy Doku a 9.5. He was absolutely exceptional today. Phil Foden, I thought Phil Foden was better in the first half and then sort of died off a bit. I'm going to give him a 7.5. Cherky, probably the worst player on the pitch for Manchester City today. He had a couple of poor touches, gave the ball away a bit too often, was the reason why Bernardo Silva got booked. I'm going to give him a 5. And then finally, Erling Haaland. I'm going to give Erling Haaland a 7.5. Scored his goal, but his overall play was brilliant today. And that is why I think I've been so impressed about Haaland. His just overall play just keeps improving time after time. So what does this mean for Liverpool going forward? I think this is probably one of the worst defeats out of them all that we've had in this recent run. And why? Because I think this is signs that it doesn't matter if sides match us. I think that's what we were thinking. Okay, if sides match us, we're one of the best sides in the world. All we've seen from that even today is that we're not. We're really not. I think the Premier League title race is completely gone if you're a Liverpool fan. I think Manchester City have completely turned it around and gone, we are in this title race. We have a very good chance of actually competing with Arsenal. Liverpool, it's all focused now on just ensuring that we get top 4. This could be a bit of a problem now, to be honest, getting Champions League football and trying to go as far as we can in the Champions League, trying to use Anfield, I guess, because we looked a lot better, I thought, at home. And potentially with second leagues at Anfield, we may have a chance of going far in the Champions League. But this does just feel very similar to Klopp's second to last season at Liverpool, where it was very much like the Premier League's gone, all we can do is hope for cups and try get into the top 4 or 5. For now, I'm nowhere near slots out. I'm going to continue saying this. I get it. He's making mistakes. There's no doubt about this. But I think the player performances today are more concerning. He set them up almost exactly like he did against Real Madrid. And people say you've got to be more adaptable than that. No one would have actually changed today's system. And if they did, people would have absolutely crucified them. I've got no doubt about this. So overall, I would say I don't think Slot's done a whole lot wrong today. I thought the subs were weird, but apart from that, it wasn't the worst managerial performance. Let me know your thoughts on this game. And if you enjoyed this, it would be great if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel.